Today, social media has made this globe not just a village, but it's made it so small that right now, as I'm speaking, I have to acknowledge those thousands who are watching across the globe. When I was coming here, I actually was watching what was going on here live on Thurayya. I was watching it. I saw there that, mashallah, the talk has begun. Someone here is speaking. And I know you spoke for exactly 38 to 40 minutes before I entered here. That's what I know. So, my brothers and sisters, we start seeing people across the globe who are so loving, so caring, so kind, so good, so compassionate. They are trying regarding their relationship with Allah. They might be weak in a thing that you have been strong in. I know of people who are strong outwardly sometimes, but weak inside. They are struggling with hidden sins. And I know others who are struggling with perhaps something that is outward. You might be able to notice it. Remember, we are all a work in progress. That's what I said at the beginning of the speech. We are all a work in progress. Just remember, you need to develop yourself on a daily basis. Shaitan waits in ambush for those who are good to stop the goodness. Don't stop your goodness. Build it. Increase it. Keep going and you will be blessed. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us more conscious of the cooperation that we're supposed to have amongst one another. Don't be too proud to cooperate with people. Don't be too arrogant. Don't be too haughty. Don't be selfish. The world is made a better place when you learn to cooperate, to tolerate, to respect. That's when it becomes a better place. Work on yourself and don't mind about others. Reach out to them. One day they will learn. They will remember. They will learn from what you're doing. They will appreciate it. I remember I visited a country and there was a man who had very bad words to say about me. And he had a following as well in that country. And in my mind I said, you know what? He just needs to come and sit for a few minutes. And you know what? We will show him the love that he doesn't have. We will show him the love that he doesn't have. When you have love and you want to give it and you want to beam it and you are filled with love, your heart does not have a space in it for hate. Doesn't have a space in it. Yes, I might dislike certain actions. I dislike robbery, meaning those who steal need help because the stealing is what we dislike. But as for the person, we hope that they will quit it for their own good. You following what I'm saying? We are distinguishing between the sin and the sinner. And sometimes the sinner may have to pay a penalty in order that others don't perpetrate the same. I told you, some of you who might have heard some of my talks, I've given an example always of young man who was told, you know, these pious Muslims, when they pray to Allah, they pray with so much of concentration that they don't really notice what goes on around them and they don't even care. And their hearts are filled with love. So the young man says, oh, I want to do an experiment. I want to do an experiment. So let me do something. So he was told, when you go into the mosque, you will find 3 people seated in the front. One on the far right, one in the center, one on the left. These are 3 very, very religious people, very plugged in, very content, very happy. They are role models. Go and do what you want to them. They will respond in the best way. So the young man was so excited. Before I continue, I want to tell you this example is being drawn in order to show you how sometimes you need to penalize the perpetrator of a crime in order for it to be a lesson for others and in order for them to correct themselves as well. When they are not corrected in that way, sometimes it becomes a menace. And you know, when crime is very easy, it will spread and become rampant. Those countries where the criminals are honored more than the person who was perhaps the victim, they have a problem. So he goes to the first man. He greets him. That man was busy in his worship. He didn't even hear what happened. So he decided, I'm going to slap this man. He slapped him. One slap. The man didn't even notice that he was slapped. He carried on with his remembrance and his worship as though nothing had happened. So the young man was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Right? I mean, who wouldn't be? Imagine someone slapped another. You saw they just carried on saying, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I mean, you would say, wow, that is now piety on another level, right? So he was told, wait, the guy in the center is even more pious than this guy. He said, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen. He went, This man didn't notice anything. He decided to give him one slap. The man got up and he says, "Is your hand okay?" Did you hear that? Is your hand okay? Which means, ooh, so pious, he's not worried about the red marks on his face, but he's worried about the hand. Is your hand okay? Are you sure you're fine? This man says, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay." Wow. The brother sat down and continued. He continued with whatever he was doing. Whew. This young man was very, very impressed. He says, "You know what? Imagine I slapped him. He didn't talk about the slap. He's asking me, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? No, you didn't. Then everything else is fine." Now he was itching to know what's going to happen with the third person, right? Because he was told that man is now the real deal, He is the most, pious person that we've known. And so he went to that man. That man didn't notice anything, not at all. He gave the man one slap. The man got up and gave him 2 slaps. He says, "But I thought you were pious, the most pious." He said, "Yes, someone needs to stop you. You're going around slapping all the pious people. What's your problem?" Subhanallah. So the moral of the story is, yes, we will try. We will actually help those who perhaps have bad habits. But if it is a crime, then they will face the correctional services through whatever means they have to face it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. I will leave the rest of the speech for another time. أقول قولي هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.